Alright, let's get started. Episode 2, Turnabout Airlines.
The murder that occurred at my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago.
2 days earlier. Ooh. Go-You Airline.
Yes, everything began high up in the air, 900 feet in the air to be precise.
Thank you for flying Go-You Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. March 12th, 6:13 a.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge.
Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Huh, slight turbulence indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Though admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. What's this? A travel wallet, but it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? Ugh, my head. When will this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. Ugh, from earthquake-like turbulence to, an elevator! What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. What in the world happened?
Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your seat. He's dead!
Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts.
What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer!
What? No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me.
March 12, 6:41 a.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I'm one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero. Unfortunately, we just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't deliver it to me. I got a glimpse at it. It was a murder.
What? Murder? What's going on with this flight?
Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. But someone's killed, right? What about the killer? Let me out! Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit.
The fuck? I ask that everyone please remain calm.
What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm?
My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor, and I assure you that I am not the killer.
Ha! Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy.
Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body.
So you say, however, I'm sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear my honor as a professional flight attendant.
Oh, is that right?
I know what I saw. And there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up.
What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about?
We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation.
Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's all going in. I'm not about to just sit idly while I get accused of murder. Again! Mr. Nero, is it?
Yes?
I was wondering if you might give me a chance.
A chance? To do what?
A chance to plead my case, and a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous?
You have a point. Very well. I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so make it quick. So please make it quick.
Of course, as you wish.
Good. Very well then. Let's get started.
I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. Bring it, bitch.
What Miss Gennaro saw.
I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon. So if you will please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land.
That's it? That's her evidence?
I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth?
Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it.
I spat on my screen. Ah!
Alright. Yep, I already saw the contradiction.
Killer.
Got him. Mr. Nero!
What's with the yelling all of a sudden?
Ugh! Force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Mr. Nero, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct?
Yes. All that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine.
Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you.
What?
I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is?
It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky.
The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Mr. Nero.
What? Impossible!
Now then, do you still think I am the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet?
I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did.
As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you will be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you agree it's only grape juice.
Then...
That's right. You mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not in fact exist.
No!
There, that should clear up that pesky accusation.
Wait just a second. Wait just a sec. That is... I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside. Please.
So she's trembling and tacked on a please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light.
No, I can be sure of anything until I see the contents of that wallet for myself.
She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Gennaro, if you would be so kind to open the wallet and check its contents for me.
Alright. I usually don't pry into a passenger's belongings, but we have no choice here.
It seems that this password is all that's in here. As you saw, there is nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Sorry. Won't you agree?
Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it now?
Well, I was wondering whose passport it is exactly. Can I take a look?
Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is...
Virginia. Type P. Surname Hicks. Ackby Hicks. Okay. Just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to a Mr. Ackby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you?
How dare you!
You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is.
Alright, we'll argue that out of the way, bitch.
Miss Gennaro's logic.
As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you?
So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see.
You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play?
Miss Gennaro's logic.
Alright. Let me take a look, see at my evidence.
Grape juice stains in the undercover. True, it was I who dropped it in the juice, however, I didn't do it out of ill intentions.
Meals, drinks, movie. Okay.
Hold it!
You think I stole it?
Yes, I'm very sorry to say it, and I wouldn't usually be so rude, but it must be said. I never thought I'd see the day, but here I am calling a passenger a thief. Maybe I should put on a serious face and say it more directly. I believe you removed the wallet from the victim's personage.
It really doesn't matter how you phrase it. What I'd like to know is why you think I stole Mr. Hicks' wallet.
Hold it!
You think I was after his money? Where did that idea come from?
True, you were also a passenger in first class, but I thought something was off about you and those deeply etched lines on your forehead.
They're not lines, they're perfectly normal and part of my natural face.
I don't think I ever met someone with such a terrible countenance on a flight before.
You little shit.
And that's when it hit me. You have the face of someone with money trouble.
She really is making a fool of herself pursuing this line of logic. You should spare her and present the piece of evidence that contradicts her testimony. You had to steal his money? Okay.
Objection!
I wonder if I might get a word in, Mr. Nero.
What is it now?
Mr. Nero, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your testimony.
What are you talking about?
It's simple. Impossible for that motive for this murder was money. It's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about the screen would... But it seemed that would prove that the motive for murder was not the money. It's on the fucking floor, bitch.
Take that!
Take that. If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor.
Ah!
That's right. The floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these are the very things the killer was after.
Ah!
I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there's no effort made by the killer to gather the money.
What? The wallet?
Objection!
Ah, yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in his wallet was Mr. Hicks's passport.
Ah!
If you're really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet.
I... Forgive me! Please!
Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the lieutenant's wrong? So the guy is the killer? Ha! Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick.
Would you all please be quiet? Mr. Nero,
Yes?
you lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus the lounge was dark and looking into the light from the elevator. It's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought I was the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you for releasing me. What is it now? Mr. Nero, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged.
It sounds like Virginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who...
I said that he is giving the roundabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant.
Yes, sir?
I want this person to be under arrest until we arrive at the airport.
I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for?
What is it you want? I'm finished talking to the likes of you.
Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land.
You! How dare you try to waste my time?
You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs.
I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know who you are. I see through you. Insolvent. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English.
Well, I should hope I'm not monetarily bankrupt, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name.
I'm Zings LeBlanc II. I am a very wealthy man in Virginia. But I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty.
Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now?
Pardon?
When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout.
I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I do not have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say.
Yes, and yet you continue to blather on.
I saw it, yes I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going down to the lounge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock.
And what's the significance of that time?
At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6?
What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body?
Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15,
Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at this time was this prosecutor, yes?
Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time.
Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice.
I'm still eating, I still haven't finished, see?
Holy shit, that's a huge piece of meat.
The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose? No compliant? I see. Not a single word against this, right?
I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me.
Oh, so you say. But do you have what you say, the evidence?
Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all?
Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw, enough to give testimony.
Of course, I was looking at the man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time.
Machine?
Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the click, click, click.
From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer.
I believe what Mr. Blanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself.
A simple cell phone? A laptop or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget.
I hate that noisy little machine in his hands. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw.
Mr. Nero,
Yes?
I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene.
What? You want to examine the crime scene?
If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit.
I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English.
It's Fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all of the remaining doubts. Mr. Nero, if you wait until we arrive, there's a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then.
I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say.
Ha! This should not be approved.
Please, Mr. LeBlanc. In an emergency, all decisions are made by the captain alone. Now please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back.
You are not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes?
Of course not.
Ha! We will see.
Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable!
I am in your debt, Mr. Nero.
However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course, I see no problem with that stipulation. It is only natural as I am still a suspect in this case.
Grrr.
I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, feel free to use T to talk.
It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge. It's my seat. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything particularly useful for an investigation. It's not as if I'm constantly prepared for such a thing to occur.
Hurry up and investigate. Time should not be wasted. Precious is human time, is how you say it, I believe.
There's a little thing here. Mr. LeBlanc seems to be protecting the gargantuan vase on the chair rather closely.
It's a marvelous vase though, isn't it? Yes, I dare say so as the professional attendant.
I don't think there's any real connection between a piece of art and being an attendant.
But I'm not just any old attendant. I'm a professional flight attendant.
As though there was such a thing as an amateur flight attendant. This was Mr. Hicks' seat. I don't see the machine Mr. LeBlanc was talking about.
Perhaps it's in the elevator?
Maybe. We should probably head down to the crime scene now.
Don't get near me, you criminal!
He said, "Don't get near me, you criminal."
I am not the killer, and I intend to prove that starting now.
But that's contrary to the facts.
He says it, but that's contrary to the facts.
I can understand his English just fine, thank you very much. What's this lifesaver doing here?
I bought it at an in-flight shop just beyond the lounge. If something should happen, having one will save your life. Having one will save your life.
I think this guy would have been better off not taking a plane to begin with. Hey, miss, how about another glass? Excuse me, but I was wondering if you know anything about the murder.
How about it? How about a glass together?
Sorry, but I must decline.
I wasn't talking to you, I was asking the cute attendant.
I'm sorry, but I'm on the clock right now. But if you need a refill, I'll be happy to bring you another glass at any time.
You got it, Toots.
That's no way to talk to a lady. If I may have a word with you.
This steak, so much awesome.
That's great to hear, however. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I was here, whole time, so wouldn't know answer.
Eat or speak, please pick one.
I think you chose to eat.
Yes, I can hear that.
March 12, 7:26 a.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge.
I want to thank you for your help back there, Mr. Nero.
It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota.
I see. I will bear that in mind.
I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that. We reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel that you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time.
So my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board?
I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes and first class without a staff keycard, and we found no record of a keycard being used at all.
Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least now I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered either. Now then, let's get started.
But where should we start from?
Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere.
If we are to believe what you say is true, then yes.
The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. The glasses and candles thrown into disarray by the turbulence.
It's been a while since I've seen this big of a mess. It's terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second, and I frantically started searching for gas valves to shut off.
I guess the shaking of the plane was bad enough to be mistaken for a real earthquake. Not that I would know, since I was unconscious for most of it. A pity that a bronze statue knows not when a good drink has been spilled at its feet.
This is a statue of our founder, Mr. Hugo Hughes, who was a big fan of grape juice. I'm sure he would be thrilled if he knew so much grape juice was here at his feet.
Is that a hint of hero worshipping I detect? There's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. I assumed it was spilled during the turbulence.
Oh, we must clean it up or someone might get hurt.
Aha!
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I found something very important evidence. What is the important piece of evidence in the scene? The footprints.
Take that!
What is it?
They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree they're a set of footprints.
So you think?
Yes, these belong to our killer.
Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe size of everyone in first class.
I don't think that will be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match.
Oh, I see.
What floor does this elevator service?
Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard.
So the only floors accessible to passengers are the first and second, huh? I wonder if I expected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Money's strewn all over the floor of the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks's wallet at some point. What is this sinister looking figure on the floor there? Here.
Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Captain Hugo. It's just one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. This bank is a limited edition and is so popular that we're down to our last one.
We have an in-flight shop.
Yes, it's all beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight until Mr. Hicks's body was discovered.
There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon? I wonder what was hanging off this lanyard. Something's missing from this picture. Now if I could just put my finger on it. I doubt anyone was expected to find a dead body on it in an elevator on this flight.
So Mr. Hicks, he's really dead?
Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for that when there's a corpse right there.
Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes.
I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyway, I should focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks's head. Could this be the cause of death?
He appears to have been struck very hard. Even his glasses are broken. Don't think there's anything else for now.
What or who is this?
This is a bronze statue of the founder of GoU Airlines, Mr. Hugo Hughes. The one on the left is of when he was in his 40s, and the other is of him in his 80s.
Did the man age at all over those 4 decades? Maybe I need to squint more. These counter windows offer a glimpse of the sky, but these clouds, they tell me nothing.
Mr. Edgeworth, you look like you're talking to the clouds.
Is that so? Then tell me, what do you suppose I said to them?
I don't know, but it looked like a rather one-sided conversation.
The clouds, they tell me nothing. These bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area.
Thank you very much for the warning, Mr. Edgeworth. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, know that it does not clear up any suspicions I have about you.
I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name.
This door leads to the flight attendant's room, but please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel.
The room is giving off the scent of women's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great. However, to me, it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind this door.
Perhaps we should return to the investigation, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth?
Sorry, I spaced out for a second there. This grand piano is the pride of this.
This grand piano is the pride of this plane. It can play the music of whatever CD we insert into its CD drive.
That's not a piano. It's more like an overgrown music box.
Ah, but its keys to press along with the music, as though there really is someone playing it.
Some people have entirely too much money to waste over overly complex toys.
Okay. Time to do some logic.
A statue with blood lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out.
Yes? What is it?
The way the blood is on this... it looks like it matches up with the wound on its head.
Well, aren't we deserving of the master of the obvious title?
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating?
It would have appeared that this figurine is our murder weapon.
Oh, I just knew it. I mean, I can't think of any other connection.
Perhaps the master of the oblivious would be more befitting. Oh. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. Ow.
The in-flight shop is just beyond these shutters, but we don't have permission to open them, so I'm afraid we must leave them closed.
There must still be clues to be found here in this lounge. I must remain ever vigilant.
Okay.
No, I've already done that.
I think it's just mainly logic here.
There is some blood on one of the corners. Could this piggy bank be the murder weapon?
Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, we have something.
This toppled over chair. Yet another victim of the turbulence.
Ah, no! Look at all the grape juice staining the back! It may not look it, but this chair was extremely valuable.
It was?
Yes, it was used when the Rocker Pals came to tour in this plane. The Rocker Pals leader sat in this very chair.
I'm sorry, but what are these Rocker Pals?
I can't believe you never heard of them. They're all the rage. the Rocker Pals are an extremely popular international band. They added the pals part as they became more popular, especially among teens.
Ah, that explains it. I'm not really one for the music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. On second thought, I can already see how confusing the conversation would get. There are a few copies of Sky magazine in the magazine rack.
This month's special is an English trivia quiz.
That's not a bad idea. I've heard that the youth of today don't know a particle from a participle.
Now, please don't go around confusing people with made-up words, Mr. Edgeworth. Who's ever heard of such a silly word as participle?
Case in point.
I feel like, okay, I'm guessing I am missing something from the crime scene. I've already looked at that, already looked at the money, the card? Yeah, I've already...
It seems as his password is all in here. Okay.
In here? Oh, okay.
True, there wasn't anyone in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a very different story.
Okay. And then I put here and here.
I have it!
I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder.
What? Really?
Yes, it's rather simple actually. The proof is in the pudding, or rather in the grape juice in this case. These footsteps here confess to me this very fact, that someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person.
But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself?
Ah, but if you take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see that the soles are spotless.
Which means...
Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside the elevator. There's no grape juice residue on the soles of his shoes, making it highly unlikely that Mr. Hicks entered this elevator after the turbulence.
Okay. I don't think I have anything else now. Is it done? No? Wait, what? The scent in the air. It's the same smell as the... Wait, what? That's new dialogue? What the fuck?
Spilled grape juice in a pool at my feet. Unfortunately, the delightful scent of grapes is obscured by the unpleasant smell of the crime scene.
The scent in the air is the same smell as the smell of my towels after they come out of my home dryer.
I would have never expected something like that by looking at you. I suppose everyone has something unpleasant about them.
Is that everything in the scene? Examine. Are you in need of assistance?
Miss Tenero, I would like to ask you about investigating the lounge.
As long as you have the captain's permission, I can't stop you from looking around.
If you could pass a message along, tell him I'm grateful for his spirit of cooperation.
I will. However, please realize that you are still under suspicion. To be honest, I still have my doubts about you.
Of course, and I take no offense.
Do you really understand what I'm saying? Do you really understand what I'm saying?
Yes, verily.
Do you pinky swear you do on honor as a professional prosecutor?
I pinky swear I do on my honor as a professional prosecutor.
Well, I guess that settles that.
I feel my honor as a man slowly diminishing. I was wondering if you noticed anything, Miss Tenero.
Yes, I can't help but notice the sad atmosphere in here.
Yes, it's a rather tragic crime.
I'll say, wrapping up the poor man after bludgeoning him to death. Talk about rubbing in the salt. I can't forgive someone who would do this to a passenger of mine. I swear as a professional flight attendant that I will capture the culprit with my own hands.
And I promise as a prosecutor to solve this case with logic and deduction. I should go all over the leads I've collected so far one more time. The key to solving this lies at the intersection of my logic and the evidence. If these footprints do in fact belong to the culprit, then I would say it was very careless to leave them.
If I was a killer, I swear that as a professional killer, I'll never leave footprints behind.
That's all well and good, but I'm afraid it's little of use in our pursuit of the killer. I feel like I'm still missing a link or two.
Even if you show that to me, I still can't allow you. Yeah, okay.
Guilty until proven innocent, I see.
Where's the nook and cranny? Money, credit card. What am I missing? I've already made more deductions, so what am I doing? What am I stuck with? What am I missing here? What am I missing?
There's nothing unusual about this area, okay?
Oh, there.
There's something sticking out of his pocket. I hope you won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. It looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere.
Okay, now it's time to deduce. Okay. What evidence do I have? Ah, okay, I see. I see now. The deuce. And this, yep. There's the photo.
Eureka! Mr. Hicks's machine is nowhere to be found.
His machine?
His cell phone, Mr. Nero.
Ah, so I guess because it's not here.
Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. Here we go, baby. Only took a smidge of damage. What's going on over there?
What's the
Unforgivable. This is unforgivable. Do you understand what I am saying? The movie is late. It is the same level of bad as if the plane arrived late.
But the movie...
What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time.
What's the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there is no emergency, please return to your seat, sir.
Do not tell me what to do. I need not to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet?
If you would like, I'll prove my innocence to you right now.
What? Nonsense. Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken?
Not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be more honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more.
Fine. Suit yourself. I am certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? Then you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal.
Mr. LeBlanc's conclusions seem to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me.
So, my eyewitness testimony, if you think you can destroy it, then come, let me see. Hurry, do I look like a man who is having the time to wait for you?
Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast.
I'm certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. I'll just press it.
Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at that time?
Of course, I saw what was inside.
And you are sure that the victim was in the elevator alone?
Yes, the only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man.
This last outburst is a bit too important to let go.
The only person inside was the Mr. Hicks. Oh. Oh, easy. Easy contradiction. Yeah, I just gotta double check, making sure.
Objection!
Yeah, there we go. Okay, that was pretty fast.
Mr. LeBlanc,
What is it?
there's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, at the spilled grape juice.
Yes, and will you also admit that you also spilled it with the blood?
No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is that set of grape juice is the set of grape juice footprints.
Footprints?
Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive.
Ugh!
There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth?
Can you please translate for us? No way, that's totally impossible, I guess is what he said.
No way, that's totally impossible. I know there was no other person in there. I saw with my own eyes.
If you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us.
I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. But then what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc? Please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me?
When I saw part 2, I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was always checking the time over and over again. I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me, and I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there was no one inside, no one.
Mr. LeBlanc, if you would please calm down.
What? Do you too have an issue with my eyewitness testimony?
No, not at all. Please forget I said anything.
Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying, but I can't let this testimony stand as the truth.
Hold it!
So, are you still upset now?
I'm always upset. The only time I am not is when I have a piece of art in my hands.
It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him.
But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me.
Hold it!
Why were you so attentive to the time?
Because something unforgivable was happening.
Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier.
I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back to me my time in money. You understand the point?
Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? A summary of the plot and its time. Interesting.
6 to 8, okay. They were supposed to show License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. I cannot see that movie in my country. You can only see it on the international flights. I looked forward greatly to that movie. I checked my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board. So my watch is not moving. It matched the schedule. It's not wrong. It matched the schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late.
Hold it!
Your pocket watch? I'd like to ask you a little more about it if that's alright.
Okay. So I'm guessing you weren't paying attention, you were trying to fucking see the movie.
Hold it!
So this movie you mentioned, is it the one listed in the Spy magazine?
Yes. I was so looking forward to watching License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder.
Mr. Nero, was this movie shown on this flight?
Yes, it was shown at the scheduled time.
Isn't it possible you simply slept through it by accident?
Nonsense, you doubt me?
No, now stop pointing at me like that! Odd. How did he miss the movie that he was clearly hoping to see?
I checked my pocket watch, well, a great number of times. That much I know for sure.
Hold it!
You're sure about what you just testified, Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes, of course, I'm a very busy man. I'm immediately busy when I land. I have many places to go and no time to waste adjusting my pocket watch.
I see. That was a very valuable statement you just made.
Flatter all you want, but you will still not get 1 cent from me.
That's alright. All I require is this piece of testimony. Oops.
Hold it!
Since you only happened to see him, it's possible that you missed something in that glance.
Even if I only happened, I did not miss a thing.
And how can you be so sure?
Just because.
I would appreciate it if you didn't take my life so lightly with a simple just because.
Well, then I was only making a joke. I saw Mr. Hicks alright.
Do I usually listen to this?
Objection!
No. Fuck. No. No, fuck. Yeah. No, it's not that one. Okay. Oh, to your destination's time. Oh, I see. All times shown correspond to our departure's time zone. Okay.
Objection!
There we go.
Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony.
I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board.
Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination.
Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents.
I would like you to take a look at this. If you believe the Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Mr. Nero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now?
Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point.
That's right. It was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Zhengfa.
But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now we are still running on Borginian time.
What?
The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with its schedule.
Wah!
Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to our flight's onboard clocks. It also changes everything about your testimony. And you can bet 1,000,000 cents on that. In the light of this information, that means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m.
Oh my 1,000,000 cents!
This should clear up all of the remaining accusations.
So basically this widens the time frame for the time of the death, right?
Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m. It means that the time of death could be anywhere from 3 to 6:15 a.m. The question now is where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time and what was he doing?
I got something to say.
And you are...
Yeah, I'm Chamomile, or Chamomile, I guess, because it's supposed to be a play on chamomile, I'm guessing. I'm the flight attendant.
And what is it you wish to say?
Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know?
What? How can you be sure of the time?
Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were apart at the transfer point.
Ah, the stop we made for refueling and cargo transfer in Zhengfa, correct?
Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks.
And during that time, did any of the passengers leave or did any new ones board this flight?
No. Not a single person got off or on in Zhengfa.
What about the flight crew?
The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane.
So basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting. I should keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you that Mr. Ackby Hicks was there in his seat when we took off again at 5 a.m.
Alright then, that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15 a.m.
Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth?
I remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Zhengfa.
You were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you are the only one who could be the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards?
Unfortunately, yes.
Alright. But then how do we explain the footprints?
It is not that obvious. This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in the lounge, waited to kill him. And then he put the corpse into the elevator. That's when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken, but what time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter. Because the entire incident concluded here in this lounge.
Everything happened in this lounge? Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc?
What? Do you have another idea?
I simply feel that there's something out of place in the scenario you presented. Is there something that can tie this crime to a location other than this lounge? Yes. Wait, hold on, let me double check my evidence. Okay. Boop!
Take that!
Take that! These footprints, in which direction do you think these are headed?
That would be the in-flight shop.
Correct. They are headed in the direction of the shop.
But they look disconnected. They end all of a sudden.
You are right, to the point that they do not form one continuous trail to the shop. However, there is another piece of evidence that connects the shop to a crime scene. Besides the footprints, what else points to the in-flight shop? The piggy bank?
Take that!
Take that! The murder weapon, this little piggy bank, is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there, and it's not displayed here in this lounge. How, then, did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious?
Such a trivial point. It only means you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all.
Is there no way to win with this man?
If I may,
What is it?
you see, well, it's just as Mr. Edgeworth says.
Oh, and why do you know this so well?
Well, it's just that piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes.
And when was this?
It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.
Isn't that just before we just hit that patch of turbulence?
That's right.
You were in the shop just before the turbulence?
Yes, I was.
Come to think of it, Mr. Nero, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door.
Yes, I did.
And what is beyond that door?
That's the flight attendant's room.
Then you on the first floor?
Yes? I had to do something at the shop and the in-flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first and then to the flight attendant's room.
Are you saying that you passed by me at some point?
Yes, you seemed really into the issue of the Sky magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by.
I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was.
Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there.
Why did you go to the shop in the first place?
I went there for a work-related matter.
Work, you say?
Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities.
Why did you not say anything about that until now, is what I want to know.
In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well.
Shall we head over there then?
What is it now?
Aren't you forgetting something, Mr. Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop?
No, I haven't forgotten. But I've already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're alright.
Huh? That's weird.
What is?
Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Nero?
It means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said that you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet here you are.
You flight attendant! What are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us?
The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way.
Mr. Nero, why would you do such a thing?
Please excuse me.
Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would follow me, I will be your guide from now on.
There's something about Mr. Nero that has piqued my curiosity, but right now investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority. Miss Mille, Miss Mile or Mille, about investigating the in-flight shop. You're of no use to me asleep. Wake up!
What's up?
I need you to come with me so I can search the shop.
Go on ahead without me. I'll catch up with you later.
How has this woman not been fired yet?
Oh, I'm really mad. You better hurry and bring me some evidence.
If you could just wait a little longer while we look into the shop.
Don't number the birds before they are born.
Don't number the what? I have no idea what he's trying to say. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, perhaps? All I ask of you is your patience and cooperation.
March 12, 8:32 a.m. Flight G390, first floor, in-flight shop.
So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here.
You think? Guess I have to clean things up then. Teehee.
Hold on, you can't clean up a potential crime scene.
Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much.
I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. There was a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit. The glass from this display case door is all shattered all over the floor, and it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat. Stuffed toys, just like the ones Miss Mille is holding, on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly.
How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you're stressed.
Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that? There are all kinds of luxury name brand merchandise for sale in this display case, and they're lined up just in such a manner as to scream "Buy me" to any passerby. Inside this display case is a row of lifesavers and life vests for sale.
We sell a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. But some people buy them even when nothing's going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one?
I sense that this shop is one shop away from being sued.
I don't know much about this shop, but you can still ask me about whatever.
So what do you think about what has happened regarding this case?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I think you're the killer though, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can assure you I'm here in the shop to prove just the opposite.
Yeah, but it was me that got you permission to look around. You know. Don't forget that, okay?
How am I supposed to thank you properly if you insist on falling asleep?
Well, you know what really show your thanks. You see that item for sale over there.
Sorry, but you're going to have to make do with my words of appreciation. What are these?
Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out of the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it.
Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world you try, then buy.
No way! But either way, it doesn't really matter.
True, either way, why would anyone want to buy a suitcase after they boarded the plane?
Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Captain Ugo heads placed on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? All painted out with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump at you?
It's certainly making something jump inside my stomach.
Oh? I guess there's no fooling your refined taste. You look like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was going to finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay?
But I never showed any interest in it to begin with.
Teehee. It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You wanna know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda.
Mr. Nero designed this.
Yeah, it was a company-wide contest.
Well, it does have a very sharp design sense.
Sharp? Like stinky, sharp cheddar, maybe? I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so... bleh.
Mr. Nero designed this, did she? It's definitely not what I would have expected. Ah!
You okay?
I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Meal. Letting a suitcase freely roll around you has got to be a safety violation.
Here, I'll put it back.
Anything else? There's a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases.
You know what I suggest?
Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip.
Okay, then how about you buy something for me then? As a present.
I can't think of a single reason of why I'd want to buy you anything.
But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time.
Try paying some attention to me when I ask you something, and then we'll talk. Okay, is that everything? Okay. Time to piece this shit together. The hat probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it?
Really?
Don't tell me you don't know what things go and where in the shop.
Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. So come on, how should I know anything?
I sense that further inspection of this display case is needed. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Is this the same man that is the one portrayed by the statues around the elevator?
Yeah, that's the paperweight of the founder of GoU Airlines, Mr. Ugo Hughes. On the bottom shelf we have the cute one. The middle shelf is the realistic one. And the one at the top shelf, that's the Flora version.
Flora? Are you sure about that? Let me guess, you just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? Looks like hit the bullseye. Okay, that's a bit weird. Okay. The glass in this door is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank? But it's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus the glass broke rather cleanly.
Ah!
What is it?
I touched the glass and I cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth, it hurts!
Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own. There's nothing of interest here. GoU Airlines related books line on this shelf. The history of Goryu Airlines, the future of Goryu Airlines, the seven wonders of Goryu. Fight on, Goryu Airlines. Working name, Go Airlines. You go, you! The titles make it very clear that they won't be making the top seller list anytime soon.
Eureka!
There's definitely something very unusual about this.
About what?
If the killer had broken the glass to get at the Captain Ugo Bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess it'd be like that.
However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case,
Nope. No, there isn't.
which means the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor.
I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time too,
That's nice.
which leads me to believe that the killer took the Captain Ugo Bank from here after the turbulence. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Mill, and listen to when I'm talking.
Ah!
But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules the piggy bank out as the murder weapon.
So you mean the piggy bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake?
Yes, at this point, that is a very real possibility.
But then what if the killer wanted to take Captain Ugo? They broke the glass by accident?
The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, but there's one person who could have.
Oh? And who would that be?
Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything.
Miss Rhoda Tenero, huh? For security, there's a lock on this display case. Miss Mueller, if I may ask you about this lock?
The one who's in charge of the shop is Miss Rhoda, so she's got the keys to all the display cases.
I see.
Oh, I bet you want to buy something. Do you want me to go get the key from her?
No, that's alright. Okay. Yes, there's definitely something wrong here.
What's the sound of yelling?
Tell me, Miss Mill, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases?
Oh, well, sure. They're totally ooze strange, like the color and the such.
That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention.
Ah, you're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper.
Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? I guess they take after their creator.
Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Mill. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind, I soon find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous.
I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said. What's wrong?
She makes a good point. It will be wise for me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I spotted something that's not quite right. What's so unusual about the suitcase? The stain! The stain! There's something very peculiar about these wheels.
Huh? As in?
As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, no one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying.
And?
And so it is very unlikely that this suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? What's this? This wheel is completely covered in something. This color and the scent. It appears the substance in question is the grape juice. But why would it be Why would there be juice on the wheel of a suitcase? It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. A piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood.
Ah! It's blood!
It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all.
So explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder?
I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps.
Yeah, but are you just talking about the cloth then?
That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. That thing I believe the killer used the suitcase to transport is the motherfucking body, bitch! Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it?
But...
In light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location.
So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it?
Exactly. What is it?
Nothing. Just that... I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels like he's allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat.
I understand his sentiments. However, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I will be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course.
If that's your one condition, I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together.
I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me about Mr. Nero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. Yes, sir. Let's save. Actually, this... Oh, man, I have a lot of save slots. I'll just save here, then.
March 12, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport.
I know once we had landed.
Wait a minute, is that the... Oh, hey, that's the director of that. Yes, that's the... No, is that the producer or is that the director? No, that's the director of the, from one of the Phoenix Wright games. No, the character, not the actual director. I forgot his name, though, but he was the one who was doing all the lead speak things. I didn't expect that reference to be here.
I'm supposed to let the local police take over, and thanks to Mr. Nero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it, I wasn't able to talk with Mr. Nero in private. So I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation.
I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth.
Oh, Franziska von Karma. Franziska? I thought you were still in Germany.
I go where I needed, and wherever there are criminals to be caught. And where are criminals to be caught?
Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are.
Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest.
What?
It's quite frustrating, actually. I'd hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue, but I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame?
Wait, this is all a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim.
A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death.
Francisco, do you honestly believe that I killed the man?
I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then.
That's as it should be.
Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for.
Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill. So why don't we solve this together?
I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town.
Trust me, I had no intention to.
Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Too slow.
No!
Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand?
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him?
A simple yes or no, detective.
Yeah, yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me.
Miles Edgeworth. If you interfere in my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you excuse me.
Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay.
Thank you, Detective.
I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this.
I have to admit I'm a bit curious as to what Francisco is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well, in that case, I have a few questions for you. This child seems to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes.
Wow! I would like to take a run down that runway.
Oh, the youth of today. So much potential, yet so misguided.
Yeah, it's the director from the Will Powers case in Phoenix Red 1.
Looking from behind. I think I've seen this man from somewhere before.
In Soviet Russia, world flags lunchboxes eat you. Found it, lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000, lols. For my next lead movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Tokyo, versus the World Samurai, Champion of Earth. It's gonna be Rosa, so many boxers.
So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie.
And that's the director himself.
This man was in first class with me. I was quite shaken up by the whole affair.
I did it. I made the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore.
He must have been pretty scared. He's repeating the same thing over and over to himself. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops. What should I go with?
I recommend our airport special, World's Flags Lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags.
I wonder if they're aiming to take Lunchland to the international market.
Yeah, that's a reference to the final case of Ace Attorney 1. Yeah, because that involved the former detective lady to be, selling lunchboxes and stuff.
What a few of the planes preparing for takeoff. Besides the turbulence, they're really not all that bad as a mode of transportation.
Oops.
So how is the initial investigation going?
We just shipped the body up to the coroner's office, and we're taking statements now, sir.
That sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case.
I say she was, a little too quick, sir.
Oh? How so?
I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kinda creepy, as though she knew there had to be a murder or something. And it had come in advance to await your flight's arrival.
That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this.
Miss Von Karma just kinda popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident.
No details?
It's kinda top secret, so she can't talk about it. Even with me, sir.
Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine.
Anyway, that's all about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate.
Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh.
March 12, 1:37 p.m. Flight G390. Second floor, first class.
So you must be the captain.
Why, yes, I am. And who might you be?
I am the prosecutor Franziska Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do.
What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy.
I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person.
Sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir?
He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I would like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Exactly. Precisely why.
March 12, 1:40 p.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge.
Now see here.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be criminal. The criminal, I told you.
Mr. LeBlanc?
Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend.
Sir, you can't go in there. I'm Miles Edgeworth. I am one of the prosecutors on this case, so please let me through. I'm very sorry, sir. No one is allowed to enter without Miss Von Karma's express permission. But I'm on the case. Yes, I understand that, but I also have explicit instructions not to let you through from Miss Von Karma. Grr. Why would you do this? Why would you do this to me, Franziska? Did you finish taking a statement yet?
Yep, all done, sir.
I do not concern if you are done examining the cargo holes. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay.
Art? What sort of art?
Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of art right down in the cargo hold, sir. It's practically a mountain of them, large and small.
From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of art.
Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. For there to be this much blood on this piece of cloth, was the victim wrapped in it at some point? There's something very familiar about this fabric pattern. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please look at this for me?
Oh, it's a Virginium cloth.
As I suspected. Your hat is made of the same material, I suppose?
Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous, orders come from over the seas for more.
And this is the cargo you were talking about earlier?
No. My cargo this time is much, many gigantic. You, detective, When can I have my cargo moved?
You get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal.
The stubbornness of you police it is no good. And it's no good that attendant refused to exit the attendance room too.
That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Mr. Nero.
No, okay.
What did you mean by that, attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
She was taken into the attendance room for her interview. And then they still had not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her.
Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time?
Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you?
Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I would like to speak with Mr. Nero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room?
Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances.
I understand.
You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth.
Bring it, bitch.
Francisca's logic.
Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect.
The likeliest suspect, Francisca.
Do you have a problem with that?
No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute.
It's simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend?
Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I have to break your line of logic fast.
No, it wasn't. Okay. I'll press that.
Hold it!
So tell me, Francisca, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene?
I know that all I need to know in order to arrest you.
And nothing more?
As you're saying, there is more I need to know?
Why did you whip me, sir?
Sorry, Scruffy, my hand must have slipped.
It would appear that Francisca doesn't have all the facts of this case yet.
From the time oh wait, no, why am I reading this? The body was found.
Hold it!
What do you mean by scene?
Please stop pretending like you don't know. Insulting. It's assaulting. Obviously, I'm talking about how Mr. Hicks was seen calling for an attendant at 5 AM. And then from the time after that, on that call until the body was found.
Hold it!
Well, it's true that I was in the lounge the whole time. That fact alone does not make me the criminal.
Ha! We'll see about that conclusion of this investigation. However, there is one thing that even you must admit at this time.
No, it wasn't. It was fucking somewhere else. What evidence do I use? This one?
Objection!
No. Fuck. Ow. There's no need to whip the evidence. Oh, why'd you whip me too? Oops, I clicked out.
Hold it!
What do you mean by? Oh, yeah, you said that. Am I using the wrong evidence? This was apparently designed by Mr. Nero herself. The design has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yes, perhaps that is the best way to put it.
So get this, sir. I bet the victim used the suitcase as a hiding place.
Excuse me?
You know, to stow away under this visor. He must have been inside all along. But someone found him out, and that's when he went blam, bam, he was killed. Actually, that was the plot of a movie I saw recently.
Detective Gumshoe, get your head out of the theater and back into reality.
Oops. That's the victim's blood, right, sir?
I suspect so, but we won't know much more until it's been processed by forensics.
Well, it's a good thing no one wanted to buy the suitcase.
How so?
Imagine the shock of their face when they go open out and pumps a dead body.
I suppose, although it's really nothing to get all shocked over.
Hold it!
And over the crime scene. She doesn't know, okay. What the fuck? Maybe that's a bit of a weird error there. The only person in lines the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. Oh, is it supposed to be here? Or someone? Was it here or was it?
Hold it!
Don't you think you're being a bit rash by simply declaring me the culprit?
I like my affairs to be simple and perfect. I'll show you the meaning of both when I finish this whole thing within 3 minutes.
Hey, you say like you're cooking a pack of sins to do it.
I won't allow you even 3 seconds of useless testimony to be uttered in my presence.
I see she hasn't changed a bit. I don't want to allow her to send me to prison so easily.
Oh goddamn, it's doing the weird thing when the arrow doesn't show up. Okay, there we go.
In the very long, the scene of the crime was here and the body was discovered. At the time, the victim was seen calling for an attendant. The body went out for an attendant until his body was found.
Objection!
Nah, shit. Fuck. Ah, god damn it. Motherfucker, what is it then?
The only one that allows you. So I was trying.
the fuck is it? The scene is here at the very end. The scene of the crime was here. The suitcase? Do I use the suitcase or?
Objection!
Oh, I was supposed to use the suitcase apparently. I did. Okay. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all.
And what does that mean?
I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used the suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Now who's the one rashly jumping to the conclusions?
Excuse me?
All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth.
I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily.
You should know better than that. Avant Karma is perfect in every way.
Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point?
As if there's proof of that.
Where's the proof that the suitcase was moved around?
Yes,
Take that!
the footprints. They spilled grape juice as far as the elevator.
Yes, I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where's the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here? Boop!
Take that!
This mark here. Would you say that it looks suspiciously like the tracks from two wheels?
I suppose so.
Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here.
I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else.
I'm glad you come to your senses.
Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot.
Bring it.
Francisco's Logic Part 2.
You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body.
Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought on the fly.
Just what are you insinuating?
That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in our logic in one fell swoop. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. Well... Before the plane hit the turbulence? Okay, well I want to press that first. And how did you suppose I was able to take the piggy bank out of its display case? As I recall, the case was locked.
That's easily. If the case was locked, you simply had to hit the glass like this.
You shattered my heart of glass.
So she wants to talk about the in-flight shop and the Captain Ugo bank, doesn't she?
That takes care of how you obtain the murder weapon.
Okay, well, I found the contradiction. Booyah! The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared.
Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who would stand in the courtroom must learn to master.
But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix?
A fake?
This Captain Ugo piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon.
What?
The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred.
But then, what about the block on the bank? What do you make of that?
I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick up the bank from off the floor and took it to fabricate a murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage in my pocket, to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Acme Hicks.
You there!
Yes, ma'am.
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence. And the remaining items are all tested negative for any traces of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end.
But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir.
If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth.
Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence, which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene.
There is one more possibility.
And that would be?
That the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon.
But didn't we just...
Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at the time that the glass pane door in the door was broken. I say that that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, would you? Let's see. So that means that the killer has to have the key to the display case.
Franziska, the person you're talking about.
Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about has also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her.
Yes.
Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other?
I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish.
Mr. Nero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move.
Let's go, baby.
March 12, 2:23 p.m. Flight G390. First floor, flight attendant's room.
So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that?
Mr. Nero?
Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too?
Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did?
Alright.
It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bunk just by looking. I'm almost certain that well-kept one up top belongs to Mr. Nero.
Ew, this bottom one's a giant mess.
You savage, squalid scoundrel of a man. You dare to scrutinize a woman's bed and invade her privacy? No!
There's some things in life best kept to yourself, detective. What is all this junk inside these boxes? There's no rhyme or reason to any of it.
That's all lost and found, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gold crowns and swords and necklaces, it's like a treasure trove in here, sir.
The fact that these were left on the plane implies they were carried on to begin with. Something tells me it's time for Goryu to send its metal detectors out for repairs. What exactly is this panel for?
Ah, that's the emergency control panel for the elevator. We used it to stop the elevator on the first floor and to keep its doors open.
So these are the attendants' lockers, huh?
Oh, so these are the attendants' lockers, huh? Let's hurry and examine them, sir.
Why must men always be so rude? Besides, who exactly gave you permission to search through the attendants' lockers?
Wait, detective. It would be uncouth of us to look in a woman's locker without her permission.
Yeah, I guess so. Thus I feel this murderous draft, and I can sense a whip not far behind. Oops, no, I don't want to do that.
Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that?
Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission.
What do you mean?
The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I suppose was the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends.
In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges.
Really? You're able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Nero, is it? There is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? There. Well,
Why the sudden hesitation? Francisca seems to have struck a nerve.
all I did was go and check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell.
Mr. Nero claims to have no other reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing.
The suitcase.
If you would please take a look at this for me, Mr. Nero.
Oh, that suitcase.
Yes, about this suitcase. You are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it?
There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there?
Would you please tell me more about this suitcase?
Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there.
Wait a minute. The last one there. So you're saying, Mr. Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one?
Yes. They're so popular they're practically flying off the shelves.
That's not exactly the impression I got.
The one in the shop is most definitely the last one.
Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase.
Really? And I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one.
I didn't say anything about buying it.
Then say you'll buy it.
I'm sorry, I can't.
But why? I think you go greatly with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee you personally as a service professional.
Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous.
What?
Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcase isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining.
Remaining?
There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it.
2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only one. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only one suitcase left.
Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Mr. Nero, what is one of the suitcases doing here?
That's...
I thought you said there was only one left.
That one is,
It's mine. I've used it for a very long time now.
She's used it for a long time. I think not. Mr. Nero, I appreciate if you wouldn't lie to me.
Excuse me?
I don't believe it for even 1 second that you used it for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Mr. Nero says? The motherfucking price tag.
Take that!
Tell me, Mr. Nero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase?
What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase?
Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Mr. Nero, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who brought in this suitcase was you, motherfucker.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Mr. Nero? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like they were selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right?
Then the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overly joyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something.
But the suitcase didn't sell.
It's because of the design, isn't it? Or because it's, as you put it, hideous.
I can't say that they chose a great place in which to sell them either.
We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there, day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked.
You buy one every single time you work a flight?
I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt for the purchase.
This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m.
The truth is, there's a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight.
Mr. Nero, where are the other suitcases?
They should be all down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used
could very well have come from the cargo hold.
Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to...
Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body.
How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be.
Mr. Nero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator?
The only other way is through that door over there. Through that door there.
And what about security?
That door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to.
Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only the crew members as potential suspects.
I can't believe it.
Yes, Francisca?
Going on these wild goose chases, you are a disgrace to the Von Karma name.
And what do you mean by that?
The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story.
Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard.
Mars Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rose the elevator from the cargo hold, correct?
Yes, that's the only realistic possibility.
That's all they intended, Miss Mill. I asked her earlier and she had this to say.
Francisca got information out of Miss Mill.
In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required.
A different one?
Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rola Tenero, and only you.
What? Is this true, Mr. Nero?
Yes, I keep that keycard in my locker at all times.
Could you please show us the card right now?
Yes, hold on.
What's wrong?
The keycard, it's gone! Ha ha ha! Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You really thought this through. Wait, it's not like that. You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, there's not really much I could do about that, so, sorry.
What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face.
Francisca, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case. However...
Hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Mars Edgeworth?
I intend to do likewise. Let's search that bitch.
Alright, and we save. Boop. March 12, 2:52 p.m. Flight G309. D. Lower deck, cargo hold. Whoa, this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big!
This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and an ultra luxurious first class seating.
So this is the real scene of the murder.
There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct?
Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Lower deck cargo hold.
You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder.
Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved governmental level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. Oh god damn it, a fucking bot, hold on. Be gone. And it's gone. So it was decided I should form a joint investigation with Interpol.
Interpol is involved?
It is a top secret operation, so I cannot really tell you any more than I already have. That's the victim. It's infuriating to see him crumpled on the floor like that, lifeless. I will catch the one who did this to him myself, I swear it.
Francisca is really worked up over the victim. Let's investigate.
Boop. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair.
These must be all the leftover ones that you couldn't sell. The ones the company's planning to dispose of after this flight is over.
This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy.
Oh? Why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness.
You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! I think I'll pass.
And Miss Cheryl wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one.
Holy shit, that's expensive as fuck.
Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments. Ah.
The glasses.
I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses.
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was just here, just as I suspected.
So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew.
It sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir.
By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of his story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so.
Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal?
That's what the victim checked in, sir. So the suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look.
There's nothing out of the ordinary, dear sir.
Wait, a file?
And there's a photo of Miss Von Karman, sir.
It looks like a profile on Francisca. Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? He's from Interpol! Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisco?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karman, sir.
Francisco said that she had come to this airport as a part of an Interpol investigation.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her.
Detective, I think it was more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol Agent Hicks. I think Francisco has some explaining to do. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here?
No, sir. I haven't noticed a thing.
I'm not sure he meant to sound... I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you?
Nonsense! What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct?
I should have known you figured it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first.
So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent then?
Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on the cell phone once he landed, and I've expected to receive a call about his murder instead.
I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold.
But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and he came down to get it. Oh!
Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that I am sure.
Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisco, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue this investigation?
No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed.
I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew, and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here.
Oh, wait.
And then there's the cargo hold with that person who let him in.
Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glasses fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then... the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and... they entered the elevator. But while they were riding it up... the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of that intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. And at the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Heal me.
I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage.
What? Really, sir?
I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero.
Bring it.
Definitive evidence.
If it was a crew member, any of them could have shown Agent Hicks into the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. I say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you?
I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's simple as that.
Any one of them could.
Hold it!
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Muir or even the captain.
Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there.
I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well, then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Muir?
Ha! I thought you might ask about her.
Okay, hold on. I need to take a look at the evidence a few times, just to make sure I'm minded of what I got here. When we took off at 5 a.m. and she bought a suitcase at 5:40 a.m. So she was in the shop around, okay. But his murder occurred at between 5 to 6:15 a.m. So it's still within the time frame, unfortunately.
Hold it!
But it's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Mr. Nero.
It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come out with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father?
Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence,
Be quiet, you're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Ugo piggy bank?
Yes, she's also the only person with the key to open that display case.
Further, there's a matter of the key to display case that held the murder spank.
Objection!
Ah, shit. I thought it would work. No! Fuck! No. I'm just gonna... God. Why can't I skip this part? Why can't I skip this part? Okay, I think I'm supposed to press that one.
Hold it!
But that is a fake.
Stop right there, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you mustn't keep on insisting that it's fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That is not a surprise. After all, you know that we searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? Piggy bank, the crime scene, the body. The piggy bank? We should examine the bank itself once more to determine if it's the real murder weapon. If this is the real murder weapon, it should be damaged or perhaps have a dent on it somewhere.
We've looked into that already and there's no sign of anything on it. But we can't discount it as a murder weapon on that one fact alone. The piggy bank is, after all, made of a stronger material than human flesh. Durr!
If I can't prove it through a piggy bank itself, then I must find another way. The body, the crime scene. I think we should examine the crime scene in more detail. We might turn up a murder weapon if we search all the cargo and the luggage.
Did you not think? Oh, fucking no, it's the body. Do you see I hadn't thought that? Didn't you think I hadn't thought of that even now we're searching through them? But we haven't found anything that even closely resembles a murder weapon.
Alright then. So we should examine something else. The body. Francisco, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet even to see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon?
Scruffy,
Yes, sir.
contact the medical examiner office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy.
Yes, sir. Oh, we got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
What is it, Detective?
They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know this one thing for sure.
Report now.
The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating on his shoulder down to his mid-back.
From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area?
Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign that the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It was just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir.
Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Well, that's,
Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective?
Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless.
Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there.
No, you room yourself from my way.
What is all that racket?
My luggage, my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me.
We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience.
I suppose there is no choice.
Finally, I think you get. Hey, what do you think you're. Hey, what do you.
You have no choice but to use strong force. Ah!
You won't get past me!
No!
This is. Wait, that's it! So that's what this whole thing must have been about.
So there was a matter of the key to this display case that held the murderous bank. After all, you know that we searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
The doc said there's one giant bruise from a beating on his shoulder down to his mid-back.
Nobody could find that. Yeah, he was knocked off the edge, so how do I link this? So someone to prove that this isn't a real murder weapon. Nope. Ah. No? Shit, what the fuck? Alright, what the fuck? Okay, what do I link now?
This? Okay, there we go.
Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times all over, which is why there's an extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you would think it would stick out. But so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Just because normally it is too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here?
Franziska?
But what? What do you want?
I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon.
You did?
He really jumped.
We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. We should go check out officers.
Says there's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit.
This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across.
Anyway, you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't listening at all, aren't you?
Come on, Zen, show me this real murder weapon you speak of.
I don't have any evidence to show you.
Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean I don't have any evidence to show?
Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hick's death isn't corporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death. Free fall, bitch. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground.
Fell to his death?
Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on his back, on the back of his head and his back. And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death.
But the murder happens inside his plane.
I know.
Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from?
As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time.
You can't mean.
Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold.
What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sir. Hey you! Tell me you're dead, pal!
Quiet! Why are you screaming?
He's alive!
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that.
I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances.
The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean?
Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then?
You would have died. You would have a Borginian pancake for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that cargo box is there. So there's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios.
It may be there now, but there is no proof that it wasn't always there.
Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there.
Ah, but there was.
What?
What can I use to show that it's possible the box was not always there where it is now?
Take that!
You were fueled in the Republic of Zengfa? Or Zhengfa?
Yes, this flight had a sort of layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question.
Ah, it's labeled Zhengfa Express.
Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa. From Zhengfa.
In Zhengfa, yeah.
Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time?
It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the flight.
Making it a clear drop from which Agent X could have fallen to his death entirely possible.
Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched.
Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. And first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. This is a rather large piece of cargo.
There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Olive Red statue. Never heard of it.
Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove that it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Then let's get investigated, sir.
Look here, don't go about touching my possessions without my permission.
Don't rush up on me like that, pal.
So this belongs to the Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc?
Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Olive Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much more.
Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold.
10 million cents.
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective.
Darn. How did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year.
Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. So that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference in our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching.
If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc, I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here.
Do you mean this cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why did you say so earlier? Be sure there was at once. I can't read this. What does it say?
It says as plainly as day. The cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, my Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate.
No, that's...
Which means there was never a window of time in which the said statue was sitting there.
I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
Then you have it. Then have your wish. Look at it yourself and see that I'm right.
This... I know I've seen this somewhere before.
This is the Olive Red. It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it.
I believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous Olive Red statue.
What is the matter? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem?
That's the real nice shade of orange. For a second I couldn't tell they were jewels. Oh, but then now they kind of remind me of the eyes of this stray cat that lives near my house.
Are they supposed to be this color? Is it possible the statue is a fake? So this is the Olive Red statue. I swear I've seen this somewhere before.
No wonder this thing is worth 10 million cents. Look at how it sparkles, sir.
I wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining.
Oh.
What's this? The statue
The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. This kind of resembles its owner's attitude and sense. Hoo-hoo.
You, what did you say just now? Further, my clothing is not being stepped on by anyone. It's too expensive for me to allow that to happen.
Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate.
Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it.
Alright, time to deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any evidence I hold? Why yes, because its eyes are actually fucking red. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do, but it's really the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. The memories. I remember standing out in the field spinning with my arms out until I felt ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Sir, they're red!
As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc?
What do you want? Do you not know I'm a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The Olive Red, I suppose, this is your pride and joy, is it not?
It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago.
Better grab a chair, sir. This sounds like this is gonna be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What is that? Sympathy? For what?
You see, I like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow there has a very bright and pretty eyes compared to you.
I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo.
Why the sudden yelling now that...
Oh. It is the photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe.
Ah!
Now, do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
A fake!
I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa. And I'll present you that evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. There's clearly a contradiction here.
What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of cargo covering... of a cargo cover getting stuck underneath another piece of cargo. Ah! That's not possible.
But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on the top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, There is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe, which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa.
But then what about the cargo certificate?
Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of a flight? There is only one reason why: to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight.
So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed.
That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisco. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport, it would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched out without his knowledge, which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Yes, heal me. I need that.
I guess the victim really knew the real version of this was gonna be nabbed, huh?
Yes, well, this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir. It was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board.
A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhengfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler.
Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death.
Officer, move the statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now!
Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings.
Go on.
After moving the Alfred statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol and there was a reaction.
I see, there was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot.
Can we start looking at downstairs?
It would seem that my deductions were correct after all.
I suppose it would appear that way.
The culprit cleaned the blood up well.
And how do you think the killer did that?
How did the killer clean up all that blood? The Borginian cloth.
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean the mess.
I see, they had a need to clean up all of the blood before the plane landed in Zhengfa.
Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover.
So you guys are saying, did the murder happen before the plane landed in Zhengfa?
There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zhengfa, then this becomes highly suspect. Miss Mills' testimony. Wait, whose testimony? Wait, hold on, let me double check the testimonies.
Yeah, Miss Mills' testimony.
Recall Miss Mills' testimony about Agent Hicks in regards to when we departed to Zhengfa.
I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 AM, you know.
She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but...
That totally contradicts the facts, sir.
But why would she lie about something like that?
I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Mills herself.
March 12th, 3:35 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck cargo hold.
Miss Mills? Miss Mills!
Huh?
Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhengfa? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhengfa.
Oh?
Miss Camille Mills,
Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did?
No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Meal.
But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction.
Very well, Miss Meal, if you please tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found.
Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes. Miss Mill's alibi.
Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self.
How was a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Mill, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her.
Hold it!
Miss Mill, wake up!
I'm awake.
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant.
Why ask me to wake her up when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use?
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m.
Yeah, but that kind of stuff is run by Miss Rhoda.
Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time?
Eating and having the most delicious dream.
You mean you were neglecting your duties?
No way, sleeping up is a part of our job too, you know.
Hold it!
Miss Meal, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up!
I'm awake.
No! Why'd you with me for, sir?
Oh, wait, I missed.
Poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead.
Really? Sorry about that.
You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony.
Hold it!
So you were alone the entire time, were you?
Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi.
Oh? Well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Miss Mill, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. The ticket, right? Yeah, the autopsy report, yeah.
Take that!
Yeah. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal.
Huh? A receipt? For what?
It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero brought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp, as you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Tenero.
Yes? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now.
I request that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Mr. Nero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct?
Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off.
And did you see Miss Meal there at the time?
No.
So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Camille.
The bathroom?
I'll be the one to ask the questions here.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know.
Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true.
But it's the truth. Press my heart.
I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue at this stage.
You don't believe me, do you? So please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out?
Bring it, bitch. Reason for suspicion.
Look, I know you suspect me because I'm one of the crew, but you think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too? She's the one in charge of the elevator key card, and the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Please leave Mr. Nero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now.
I don't get it. Why are you covering Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you got your eye on Miss Rhoda.
Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I?
Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda's actually kind of lie. I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design.
Now's not the time for this sort of talk.
Hold it!
No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies.
But I say I wasn't intended. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you?
Yes, I suppose that's true enough.
Hold it!
She is already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten?
Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer?
Miss Meal, what did you mean by just now by no one else could have done it?
Hold it!
And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal?
I take care of the attendance room.
That doesn't count!
Aw, but I spent so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages, so she assists in passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Borginian. She's the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what I'm in charge of? Why did you say so in the first place?
What else could I have meant?
Yes, I'm really good at Borginian.
She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing and documents in Borginian?
Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian.
Very interesting. And some Borginian stuff, okay.
Hold it!
So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borginian stuff?
I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian. Cammy's the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edgeworth.
Miss Meal, I take it that it is your job to process all the Borginian paperwork?
Yeah, see, I totally put my weight around here.
So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work and... Miss Meal, it is very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else.
That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very sus.
There you go, pushing everything onto her again.
I don't get what you say. It must be a really abstract concept, huh?
The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head.
Objection!
Yeah. So you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Virginia for a while.
If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Aleph Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say.
Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling?
No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document, but you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of a smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper.
Really? All you did was sign it?
I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about that.
It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be a tough fight.
Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw in...
Okay.
You can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring, and just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things this plane for work purposes.
So perhaps there is some element of a celebrant play in this case.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it was Mr. Nero who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can.
You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up or that she isn't.
Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Mr. Nero from the very beginning. The suitcase.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way to all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Mr. Nero for the murder. Mr. Nero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whatever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you say?
Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway?
That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? I'll be right back.
Alright, I didn't mean to do that in the middle of a climactic sequence, but here we go. Okay. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? Hey, Fire Sale, what's up? Okay. Where the murder took place, when the murder took place, who the murder victim was. Where, when, who. When the murder, when or where. Not much, gonna go have something to eat? Okay. Yeah, I just came back from dinner, funnily enough. Yeah, okay. Special circumstances. When or where? When? The murder. Oh no, I think I screwed it up. The murder took place before the movie was scheduled to go on. Around that time, almost all of the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had to choose someone who was not at their seat to frame. Isn't that a useful explanation for how the killer chose who and why, and not why they had to? Well, I thought it'd be best to start from there. If you're going to talk about completely unrelated matters, do you mind if I take a nap? Hold on, I'm just getting to the meat of my argument. Alright, it's where. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on the plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs are quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits the role within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer. Yeah, and... Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. Ugh. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that that's still unaccounted for? Something I still can't quite fit into the big picture. The phone.
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence.
I thought not.
But that's because it went missing and it still is.
Missing? What do you mean by that?
In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that's the victim's cell phone. Franziska, we were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me.
That's right.
But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene.
You mean the killer took the phone with him?
Precisely. I suspected if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer.
Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well?
We won't know until we try a little experiment, will we? Franziska, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not?
Of course I do.
Agent Hicks's phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir.
I hear it, Detective. Now where is it coming from? It sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room.
We better hurry to the flight attendant's room, sir.
Go, 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 go!
March 12, 4:12 p.m. Flight G390, first floor flight attendant's room. The ring is coming from somewhere in here, sir.
Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. Doesn't seem to be over here.
Then let's look somewhere else, sir.
The ringing is coming from somewhere around here.
But it's not here, sir.
Why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find the phone? The ringing is coming from in here.
The ring is coming from in here, sir.
What? No, it can't be.
This gotta be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir?
It's Miss Tenero's.
What? March 12, 4:28 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck cargo hold.
So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone?
I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker.
What? But
Brother Tenero.
I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Tom, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away.
Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed a cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time.
This is related to the keycard, alright? In the same way, we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. This is the one bird we cannot ignore.
What should I do? Francisco's right. I can't offer baseless conjecture at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating or on or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth?
It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone.
What?
Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. The LCD is broken, but as a screen you can't even place a call with this. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures?
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine.
Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler.
But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone.
I'll find a way, don't you worry about that.
Can I go back to sleep now?
Objection!
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data.
What?
What do you mean by that, Francisca?
It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LED CD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still in there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone.
Francisca, your phone if you please.
Very well. It's transferring? Alright, displaying it now.
Aha! This is...
Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case.
Hey, the olive red's nowhere in this pic, sir.
But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right?
No, she's right. There's not much we can find about Agent Hicks's killer, sir.
Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? The Virginian cloth? What's all this?
Hmm? Oh, they are cargo ship from Virginia to Genfa.
So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhengfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere.
One cluster of the boxes is written in Virginian. It says Nulzlera. It is cloth in English.
Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer...
What?
What for that is that scary face?
Miss Meal.
Yes.
It appears that Agent Higgs was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that would point out who his killer is.
Ha! Maybe you should force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth.
The Virginian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. Boop!
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove?
The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe out the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhengfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille.
Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer's probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. You're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian.
Objection!
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature.
What?
There was no need for the killer to tear through the boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. The bedsheets, bitch.
Take that!
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir.
Precisely. And bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say?
So what are you trying to say?
That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first.
However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that?
The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs of the box, for the sheets had been opened. However, the Virginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color.
Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zhengfa.
That's right. That is why the Virginian cloth was used. And the only Virginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You and you alone.
Ah!
It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we had to do is contact the Zhengfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes.
Ah!
So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zhengfa?
No! No!
Oh my god, that's a really extended no. She's getting popped. Her bowel just got popped.
He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I
Pushed him to his fucking death, that's what you did.
March 12th, 5:26 p.m., flight G390, first floor lounge. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir.
Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that?
They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. But whenever we ever got approached at the top, right, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir.
She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye.
Mr. Edgeworth, I just want to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much.
It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation.
But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this token of my appreciation.
That's...
I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it.
No. I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we at GoU Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue and no matter where you go.
I can't believe you wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy, it was fun.
Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Franziska?
Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure.
Departure?
Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to chase down some leads regarding her case.
Detective? Can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier?
You got it, sir. March 12, 5:47 p.m. Hope Springs Airport.
Franziska?
I told you when you first landed I had no time for idle chatter.
I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met.
I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am?
You are Franziska Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect.
Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing pirate, living a life on the name and fame of her invincible father Bilt.
True, your father Manfred Von Karma didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible.
What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture.
Sounds like a dangerous assignment.
You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself.
Yes, I suppose you can.
Plus, there is another agent on this case with me.
Oh? Another agent?
He's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest success arrest rate. Who knows? Maybe you may even run into him one day.
I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths.
I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same.
I'm not following you.
You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full.
And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation.
Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Ho-ho! I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight.
Just how much did you cut your salary by, Franziska? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office.
Sure thing, sir. I even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want.
Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first! Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Franziska Von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known throughout the next incident. Edgeworth speaking.
Finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through.
And you are?
Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy?
Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct?
Ernest Amano? Gatto?
So you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else.
There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. The end. Hell yeah. Boop. And episode 3. Kidnapped turnabout. Yep. Sweet. Well, I believe that we'll end the stream here. We'll save the next case for the next stream and so on and so forth. So, farewell for now. See you in the next stream.